Hey everybody, it's Chris. Hey, I'm teaching this week in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 1 through 7. There's some very intense parts of that passage, verses 3 through 7, that really speak clearly about being righteous and living a righteous lifestyle. But he starts in verse 1 by saying, therefore be imitators of God as dear children. And I believe that being an imitator of God as a child of God is critical, because we as children mimic our parents. We mimic the things that we are taught. We become, as children, we're sponges. We just accept what our parents give us. And it's not until we begin to grow up and mature and we look at things that often we then choose to take a deviation from that path, especially if there's things that our parents have taught us that aren't good habits or things that we should be following, but yet there's often things that are really good. And sometimes it's when we're older, we look back and we go, man, I get what mom and dad were trying to tell me. And I'm saying the same things to my kids because I see the importance of that. It is similar and yet very different with God. When we mimic God and we become an imitator of God, when we begin to follow Him in that regard, we now put ourselves in a place of trusting and receiving whatever it is that He's giving us. So as we trust Him and as we receive from Him, we will take on more and more of His form. See, the critical piece of understanding being a child of God is to imitate Him. And verse 2 starts off with saying, and walk in love. This is the critical piece of being a child of God, is walking in love. Jesus gives us a beautiful example of what that should look like through His entire life, and we should become just as Christ is. And so I want to encourage you to begin imitating God. This is just to prepare our hearts for Sunday, because I believe what God wants to release is a new level of righteousness in His children, to remove anything that is less than God's best for our life, as well as to take on a mindset of mimicking, a mindset of imitation, in the sense of that we are going to see what God does and we are going to imitate it. We are going to follow and allow our lives to be shaped by the goodness and the love of God, and how He loves is the same way that we choose to love, regardless of circumstances, regardless of other people's words or thoughts. We're going to follow and mimic and imitate God. So I just want to encourage you with that. Continue to pursue all that God has for your life. Don't let anything put out the flame and the fire that God is putting in you to live righteously, to be holy, to choose to do all of those things above and beyond the world that you've known up to this point. So bless you. Have a wonderful